On that beat, going crazy.
Thanks for checking out another video in my review series. Today I played through Tell Me Why, which just came out in an episodic release starting on August 27th. It was published by Xbox Game Studios, so exclusive to Xbox and Windows. I was able to play through it with Xbox Game Pass. There's a link in the description if you're interested in either Game Pass or the game itself. The game got some media attention for being the first major studio game to have a playable trans character, and because this is a subject I wasn't very familiar with, I thought it would be a good idea to play it and maybe gain a better understanding, whether that be through empathy or the increased knowledge of what someone who transitions may go through during this process. So what type of gameplay can we expect? I felt the game was more in line with the Telltale series / style of games, where it feels more like you're playing a graphic novel that's slowly unfolding. The gameplay is just like any of the walking simulator genre, although most of the game is in third person, which isn't as common in my experience, but it fit right in here. This one plays a lot slower than others, as you will find yourself pausing to watch cutscenes that may be a minute or two, as well as participating in sometimes long conversations. Although in these conversations, you are in control of some of the responses, and those responses will sometimes even impact the outcomes of the game. Not to say that this is a bad thing, but just be forewarned that the game will feel slower than most adventure games in this genre if you do decide to try it. You will find yourself having to look for small clues and solve some riddles along the way to progress, but nothing with a very high level of difficulty. So what's it about? You will follow quite the heartbreaking story of a trans man, Tyler Ronan, who in the first scene of the game admits to killing his own single mother in self-defense. Tyler was sent to a juvenile detention center after the incident, and his twin sister Allison is adopted by the police chief who arrested Tyler in Delos Crossing, Alaska, the town they grew up in. Talk about baggage. Most of this information is explored in the very beginning of the game, so I promise I'm not spoiling too much here. You're coming back to Delos Crossing 10 years later, and you've just reunited with your sister Allison. The plan is to go back to the childhood home to get it ready to sell and move on from the tragedy that occurred there. The twins start to recall memories in a supernatural way together, and they also regain their ability to communicate without speaking that they both had previously thought was just in their imagination as kids. This sort of twin telepathy has been reported in the real world before, just not to this degree, and more in the way of twins feeling each other's pain or being able to sense their emotional state from afar. And the idea of twin telepathy holds no scientific merit, at least in our world at this time. The twins take an emotional journey through their childhood belongings and memories, some good, some bad, and finding out information they never would have as children. The story is focused on Tyler and his journey as a trans man, including the abuse suffered from this transition, and you will definitely gain a better understanding of the struggle, pain, and emotional exhaustion a trans person may go through should you decide to experience this story. The game was developed by Don't Nod Entertainment, based in Paris, and they are behind quite a few critically acclaimed narrative adventure games, such as Life is Strange 1 and 2, as well as Vampire and Twin Mirror. Don't Nod has clearly mastered the art of telling a story with superb voice acting. The voice acting in the game felt so natural to me, and I definitely find that uncommon in games that have multiple response options, as you often feel like one of the responses doesn't quite match the tone or the volume of the conversation. But that did not occur here at all for me. Tyler was voiced by August Aiden Black, who is also a trans man, and delivered an amazing performance. The graphics here are of AAA quality, and some of these backdrops really make you want to go to Alaska. I have a feeling we can expect more great narrative adventures from Don't Nod in the future. So if you enjoyed this game, it's definitely a developer you're going to want to keep an eye on. Now, what did I think? I thought it was so well put together that it even had me wanting to get answers for Tyler. The combination of writing and acting here is really amazing, and for me, made the game an amazing experience. It really is like playing a graphic novel. I actually found myself playing through parts, then enjoying some chips while watching the longer cutscenes, and I really got involved in the story. I think the developers did a great job on shedding light on the struggles that a trans person goes through on a daily basis and just in general, and it really brings to light the lack of knowledge that was available circa 2005. I'm glad I played through this, as I truly believe it's always a good idea to try something you're not comfortable with or lack an understanding of. I highly recommend this game to anyone that's willing to try it, and especially to anyone who has or is struggling in a similar way to Tyler. I look forward to trying and reviewing more of Don't Nod's games in the future. Thanks for stopping by, and feel free to comment any games you would like to see me review. My next review will be on Grounded, the newest game from Obsidian Entertainment, and falls into the survival game category, so be sure to check that out as well. I'll see you on the next one.
Going crazy.